which takes us back to exactly what's going on here. Cloward, Piven. Mark, who's that? Well, we discussed it the other day. And James Simpson, who wrote the original article that I cited in the American Thinker, came back the other day and wrote again about Cloward Piven government after I talked about it and cited his article. Richard Cloward and Francis Fox Piven were two lifelong members of the Democratic Socialists of America who taught sociology at Columbia University. Piven later went on to City University of New York. In May 1966, Nation magazine, that's a real red magazine, an article titled The Way to the Poor, they outlined their strategy, proposing to use grassroots radical organizations to push ever more strident demands for public services at all levels of government. The result, they predicted, would be a profound financial and political crisis that would unleash powerful forces for major economic reform at the national level. And they implemented the strategy by creating a succession of radical groups, most notable, Association of Community Organizations for Reform Now, that's ACORN, with the help of veteran organizer Wade Rathke. Their crowning achievement was the Motor Voter Act, signed into law by Bill Clinton in 1993, with Cloward and Piven standing right behind them. We know about ACORN. The Motor Voter Law has been used to open another vulnerability in the system, the registration of vast numbers of illegal aliens who then reliably vote Democrat. Herein lies the real reason Democrats are so anxious for open borders. Security be damned. It's right there in the health bill. The real goal of health care legislation, Simpson writes, the real goal of cap and trade and the real goal of the stimulus is to rip the guts out of our private economy and transfer wide swaths of it over to the government for its control. We've talked about that at length. Do not be deluded by the propaganda. These initiatives are vehicles for change. They are not goals in and of themselves, except in their ability to deliver power. They and will make matters much worse, for that is their design. This time, in addition to overwhelming the government with demands for services, Obama and the Democrats are overwhelming political opposition to their plans with a flood of apocalyptic legislation. Their ultimate goal is to leave us so discouraged, demoralized, and exhausted that we throw our hands up in defeat. As Barney Frank said, the middle class will be too distracted to fight. That's not just Barney Frank. It's pretty close to Saul Alinsky. Simpson's advice: every single citizen who cares about this country should be spending every minute of his or her spare time lobbying, organizing, writing, and planning. Fight every initiative they launch. It's all destructive. If we are to root out this evil, it is critical that in 2010 we elect competent, principled leaders who will defend our Constitution and our country. Otherwise, the malevolent cabal that occupies the government today will become too entrenched. After that, all bets are off. It's exactly what we've been talking about here for some time. James Simpson, you've done your country well. The Cloward Piven government, I emphasize it again, from the American Thinker, and we will link to it on marklevinshow.com. You'll have plenty for the Thanksgiving table to discuss. You know, if you go to marklevinshow.com, we will have all these articles, all these links, print some out, and make them eat it. I don't mean literally. But you will be prepared, you will be armed like nobody else. And if you have purchased a copy of Liberty and Tyranny, if you haven't, great. If you have, use it too. Because knowledge is power too.